Всем доброго времени суток, с вами Александр Кадрашов, и мы продолжаем проходить Алана Уэйка. Так, сейчас нам нужно подождите секундочку. Вторую серию, хотя бы название. Без смерти. Нет. Прикольный ролик, мне понравился, который был в конце предыдущей серии. Если не видел, посмотри. Эти бревна не меня напрягают. Патроны я не буду брать, у меня всего одного патрона не хватает, поэтому ну тебя нахер. Dangerous. Ладно. Пацаны, вы где? Пацаны. Ну где этот дураган? Ствол. Фух, скандинавская ходьба. Да, значит, я уже не проходил.
Stucky's body vanished, leaving behind only a lifetime of nightmares to come. Assuming I'd reach the lights of the gas station alive.
Тогда я не понимаю, каким образом у меня вот эти две открыты. Возможно, не в порядке.
Rose knew she had been gushing, but right now she didn't care. As far as she was concerned, her brief meeting with Alan Wake was literally the high point of her life. She watched as he got in the car with his wife. She was pretty, confident, at ease with Wake. Not like Rose. They were perfect for each other. She'd have given anything to be called their friend. Barry Wheeler was bouncing off the walls. He jumped on a plane after his calls were ignored by both Al and Alice for several days. It could mean that they were both on a second honeymoon, but Barry didn't buy it. Al had been way too unstable for that, not sleeping, messed up. Barry had years of experience dealing with Alan Wake, and he couldn't ignore it. Something was wrong.
Я, кстати, возможно, под конец закину просто сейф, и мы их тоже почитаем, потому что я не люблю вот это вот, когда крутую информацию прячут. Пройдите на таком-то уровне сложности. Не хочу проходить на том уровне сложности, на котором мне интересно и приятно. Что за бред? Байт, это просто для атмосферности сделано, но все равно прикольненько. Да, раз я получил ачивку за его убийство, значит, меня здесь уже не было. Значит, начинаем прям все осматривать. Кстати, показателя стамины у него нету, но при этом он выдыхается через какое-то время. Окей, ну Макс, вот и Макс. Ну да, Макс. А просто мы опять обсуждали Макса Пейна как раз третьего, так что по телефону. Контрольная точка, окей. Ну, то есть, да, они предвосхищают некоторые события, но, видите, не все. Находятся вроде по порядку они.
I recognized the parade float I had seen in Bright Falls when I first arrived with Alice.
Я успел зафоткать его. Тихо. Quantum Break, если что, у меня тоже куплен, но он мне, наверное, нормально уже не пойдет как следует.
After the insanity I had just experienced in the darkness, the lights of the gas station felt comforting. At least for a moment, the sane world reasserted itself.
Эти контрольные точки тут понапиханы прям очень бодро.
Stucky spat on the garage floor and tried to shake the cobwebs from his head. Ever since the couple never showed to pick up the keys, things had been fuzzy. Something, a feeling caught his attention. Stucky looked up and stared as his brain tried in vain to process the horror before him. He stumbled back, knocking over a can of oil. A black pool spread across the floor while he struggled for a brief moment, then let go as the unrelenting darkness engulfed him.
Не знаю, она очень...
The Deer Fest had been 2 weeks away when we arrived. If the day count on the banner was right, I was missing a whole week between the night we got here and now. I had to get inside the gas station to find a phone to call for help.
Ну, уже выяснили, что здесь есть смысл бегать и смотреть. Там что-то есть. Какая-то гопота в этих тренировочных костюмах. Пацаны, чего вы мне не даете туда забежать? Так, кстати, фонарик подзаряжается, когда ты не фокусируешь. Может, батарейки, по большому счету, вообще не тратить. Понятно, в темных углах прячутся всякие ништяки, но... Бля, как я вовремя тут. Блять. Не надо, пусть он сам подзарядится. Давай. Я не хочу батарейки. Стоп! Пидорасина! Немножко слоумо такое включается, что значит, что последнего убил. А, это все только из-за термоса с кофе, больше ничего здесь нет? Ну ладно. Я, честно говоря, надеялся, что здесь что-нибудь будет более полезное. Страничка или еще что-нибудь. Да ёб твою мать! Охуеть. Вот это да, блядь. Вы серьезно? Ну, сохранение же не прошло, конечно, серьезно. Не хочу тратить другой. Алан, давай, приходи в себя.
had to get inside the gas station to find a phone to call for help. The Deer Fest had been 2 weeks away when we arrived. If the day count on the banner was right, I was missing a whole week between the night we got here and now. The garage was a mess. It looked like someone had trashed the place, or that there'd been some kind of fight.
Я же не могу еще туда вот не сходить. Понимаешь, в лучшем случае меня ждет очередной термос с кофе. А вдруг ракетница? Я видел, да, что там 3 парня вышло, может быть, по идее, взять ракетницу. То есть можно вместо перекатов вот так вот делать. Ну, тут, похоже, ничего нет. Что там? Ладно, понял. Тут сейчас пацаны прибегут. Не надо. Да, я вижу. Бля, я просто так туда сходил. Ну ладно. Перезарядись. Честно говоря, за стаканчик из этого, из-за термоса с кофе туда ходить. Ладно бы чуть давал бы еще этот термос с кофе. Бля, вот эти обыскивают, да. Что-то хрупкое у них здесь.
All right. I'll keep writing. Outside there's only darkness. Outside the cabin, outside the story, there's only darkness. I can feel her presence in the dark. Just now, I could smell her perfume in the room. I'll reach her, I'll fix it up. I'll bring her back. The story will come true. If I stop, she's lost. I don't believe this. It'd been me on the TV, talking crazy. Was I losing my mind?
Так, секундочку. А 68-й ежегодный день оленя с 15 по 18 сентября. Игры и развлечения, лотереи, соревнования рыбаков, конкурс пирогов и неожиданные состязания. Живая музыка. Для детей кривозубый Чарли днем и невиданная мистическая фантасмагория Монтгомери вечером. Не пропустите легендарный парад на день оленя. То есть еще такие записки есть. Вот это, да.
Braight Fall's Sheriff Station.
А, ты говорил, что там.
Oh, thank God, Sheriff.
Sheriff Sarah Breaker, you are...
I'm Alan Wake, but listen, I was in a car crash. My wife, Alice, she's missing.
Calm down, Mr. Wake.
We were staying in a cabin on the island, on Cauldron Lake.
There's no island on Cauldron Lake, not since the big eruption in the 70s.
Please, I can take you there, okay?
You look like you've taken a pretty bad knock to the head. Are you okay?
Listen.
We'll figure this out. Please get in the car. We'll swing by the lake and then we'll go to the station, okay? Mr. Wake, have you seen Stucky, the guy who owns this place?
I realized I couldn't tell her what had happened in the forest. She wouldn't have believed me. And then she wouldn't have helped me with Alice. Previously on Alan Wake. I came to Bright Falls with my wife, Alice.
Thank you for coming here with me. I thought maybe you could write here.
I don't want to hear it. God damn it, Alice.
Now, she's missing.
Alice? Alice?
Это, конечно, будет заебывать.
Behind the wheel of a crashed car. I'm missing a week. I was attacked by shadowy men straight from a nightmare. The sheriff took me to the lake Alice and I had stayed at. But the cabin had disappeared.
Эпизод 2. Одержимые. Нью-Йорк-Сити 3 года назад. Город Нью-Йорк.
Honey, I'm home.
Back here, sweetie. How was it?
Worst weather I've ever seen.
You should put some coffee on. It'll warm you up.
Ща, погоди, Нью-Йорк, метель, серьезно? Да, пацаны? Там где-то Макс Пейн бегает, судя по всему.
Coffee's on.
Great, thanks. I'll need it if I'm gonna finish this by tomorrow.
Бля, если не будет отсылки к Максу Пейну сейчас хоть какой-нибудь, это будет вообще пиздец. Ну, потому что как бы не... А фотки это наверняка, которые они сделали, вот на стенах у них висят, которые Ремизи делала, когда ездила в Нью-Йорк для первого Макса Пейна фотографировать всякое. Понятно, что сама по себе Нью-Йорк и такая жуткая метель, это уже достаточная отсылка, но никому. Но чуть-чуть более так, прям так, да? Да? Так, это просто коробка, да? Блин, это коробка или записка на ней сверху лежит? Нет, это просто коробка. Окей. Оу. Я слышу уже. Да, блин, утоляющие. Ой, такие желтенькие. Блин, как же круто, а. Понимаешь, может, это не отсылка, потому что логично, что... Но все равно.
The continuing freezing rain and heavy snowfall have necessitated a winter storm warning in the entire tri-state area. People are advised to stay indoors as many roadways are already closed, and city officials are not expecting snow crews to keep up with the weather. We're now on the third day of the blizzard, and the weather is not expected to clear up anytime soon.
Макс. Первый Макс Пейн, это прям... Сюда зачем-то можно зайти. Два... Ну блин, ну камон, ну посмотрите, 2 пистолета. Алан Уэйк. Возвращение Сендер. Что я забыл? Алекс Кейси. This is what I want. Вот что я хочу. И падение Кейси, ну да. Fall of Кейси. А, он их по 2 штуки берет. Так, ну эти только... Угу, все, понял.
It's true what they say about the fall and the sudden stop at the end. I'd lain here in the snow while the lurid chain of scenes that had led me here kept playing in my head. A rerun of my own private snuff movie. A memory of my corpse. Alone at my own wake. Thinking in metaphors again. The femme fatale was gone. Only a sour taste remained of the kiss that killed me.
Господи, МакЭфри, как же это круто, а! Господи, сейчас буду орать, как чертила.
This was a late goodbye. 13 years after I'd gotten my revenge, it had finally caught up with me. It had been a long time to bear the pain. My blood painted the snow red. A gruesome slushy dissolved all the scattered painkillers and leisurely dripped down to the sewer, mingling with the bile of the city, becoming one with it. I can see them now. My wife and my baby. Honey, I'm home.
Моя жена и ребенком говорит. Боже, Алан Уэйк пишет книжку про Макса Пейна. Обалдеть. Вот это да. Но опять же, таким же образом можно и впихнуть хорошо очень в общую вселенную, что типа Макс Пейн — это история, которую Алан Уэйк просто придумал. О, господи, теперь я понимаю, почему они кого озвучивают МакКэфри. Окей, ладно.
Oh, hey, I just finished those cover mock-ups. They're on your desk. Tell me what you think.
No kidding. I didn't think you'd get them done this quickly.
On occasion, I can perform all sorts of miracles, my dear.
Oh, really?
Well, you seemed to think so last night.
Это я у тебя спизжу, понял? Записки
These
надо
look really good.
обязательно.
Oh, sure, until Barry gets his hands on them. Which, by the way, will happen over my dead body. The last time was the last time. Oh, and speaking of Barry, he called.
Alan? Alan, please check the fuse box.
I'm right here. I'm on it, honey.
Please hurry!
Honey, it's a power outage. I've got the flashlight.
Okay. Hi.
You okay?
I'm sorry. It just really spooked me.
Don't worry. We'll just break out the candles.
I know it's stupid, but it's just... Especially when I'm not prepared for it, you know? It gets to me.
I love you.
Tell me a story, writer.
Okay. I used to have these nightmares when I was a kid. The dark really spooked me, too. When it got really bad, my mom gave me this old light switch. She called it the clicker.
The clicker, huh?
Yeah. If I ever got scared of the dark, I could just flip the switch and a magic light would scare the monsters away.
Oh, sure.
Here it is.
Alan.
Maybe it'll help you, too.
Yeah, nice story, writer boy. You made that up right now, didn't you?
No. Seriously.
I love you, even if you are a liar. Thanks for this.
Брайт Фоллс. Наши дни.
How do you feel, Mr. Wake? Any nausea, disorientation, anything like that? Mr. Wake, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. My head's fine. I had to lie about my headache and memory loss. He'd send me to a hospital for tests. I couldn't leave without Alice.
Very well. I don't think you have a concussion, but you've obviously been through quite a shock. You should take it easy for a couple of days.
Thanks.
Well then, Mr. Wake, we're done here. If the pain gets any worse or you experience any other symptoms, you should come see me. I'll let you get on with it then. Sarah, Sheriff Breaker, is waiting for you. She's very good at her job. I'm sure she can locate your wife in no time.
Doc Nelson was the image of a small-town doctor. Sheriff Breaker had called him to the station to take a look at the cut in my head. I'm sorry you had to cut your morning fishing short for this, Doc.
Oh, she's a beauty, ain't she? Not the biggest I ever caught, if you can believe that coming from an old fisherman like me, but she's right up there. Now, she's a largemouth bass, which is what you're after if you prefer a lure. Now, if you want either trout or salmon, on the other hand, then it's fly fishing for you. You a fishing man, Mr. Wake? Oh, doesn't really matter, I suppose. But it can be very relaxing out there. You can't get me off the water this time of year. Closest thing to heaven.
I'll take your word for it, Doc.
Насколько я знаю, кстати говоря, в контроле там столько записок, столько всего, что... Когда мы до него доберемся, это будет пиздец. Я думаю, телек его можно посмотреть. Блин, это было просто крутейшая штука. Я так понимаю, здесь сейчас все записки будут про книжку, которую... Да, иду. Да, я знаю. О, опять эта бабулька.
Thank you for testing the lights, Miss Weaver. Everything seems to be fine.
I don't have the luxury of being complacent, Deputy Grant. The bulbs will need changing soon. You can't change them in the dark.
I'll be sure to take care of it, Miss Weaver. Have a nice day now.
Very good. I'll come back later on to remind you, just in case.
Пропавший котик.
Mr. Wake, the sheriff is waiting for you in her office down the corridor.
А здесь может...
That was Cynthia Weaver. I guess you can call her the town eccentric. She used to be the editor of the local newspaper, but she's focused on, other things these days.
She'd fit right in where I come from.
As you can see, she's a little obsessed with maintaining the light bulbs of the whole town, refuses to step on shadows, things like that. Back in her day, she wrote about all sorts of weird things in the paper. Brайт Фоллс has a colorful history. Of course, what small town hasn't?
Какого маленького города. Кстати, в принципе, довольно неплохой перевод. Единственное, какие-то мелкие детали упускают иногда. Но в целом прям очень бодро. А там что, реально можно просто взять и уйти на улицу? Да я знаю, отъебись от меня. Извините за грубость. Так, что, еще Макс Пейн? А, то есть они вот так вот, они не в порядке находятся.
Alice looked through the viewfinder, lining up the shot. Cauldron Lake was breathtaking. Something caught her eye. A figure standing in the shadows behind the cabin, like a thin woman in a black dress. She lowered the camera and looked again. No one there. Just a collection of bushes that looked vaguely human-shaped. She shook her head and laughed.
Yeah, it's Mulligan here. I'm at Stucky's gas station with Thornton. There's no sign of him. Over.
Wait. Yeah, this is Thornton. Look, we've located the brake float. It's here. That's some good news, right? Stucky was supposed to be driving it at the rehearsals today. Over.
Oh, give me that. Mulligan here. Looks like someone really thrashed the garage. Over.
Okay, roger that, guys. Keep looking for Stucky. Jane's out.
Вы почему-то, мне кажется, не найдете.
Sheriff Breaker is waiting for you down the corridor in
Alice
her
was missing. I needed help to find her. I wasn't ready to leave.
Понятно, в общем, нельзя. Ну и ладно. Разыскивается мужчина, пропал без вести 20.06.2007. Отличительные признаки: мастер побеждать в состязании. Подожди, это 2007. Там было 3 года назад, это получается 2004. 2004, блять, это, по-моему, второй Макс Пейн. А, ну, кстати. Про кота почему ничего прочитать нельзя? Ну, что вы за люди? Ричард Баух, Брюс Данский, Джейкоб Миллер не вернулись вовремя из туристического похода, не выходят на связь. Если вы видели их или вам известно их местонахождение, позвоните по номеру 555-99-32. Спасибо. Я раньше этот номер тоже куда-нибудь вел, какая-то приколюшка там какая-нибудь была с ним связана. А может, до сих пор работает, не знаю.
Come in, Mr. Wake. Your phone's on the desk. The battery was dead. It's charged now.
Have you started looking for my wife yet?
My men are already on it. Now, can you tell me what happened?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. We were arguing. I walked out of the cabin.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake?
How did you end up at Stucky's gas station?
I wanted to tell her what had happened last night, but I couldn't. She'd lock me up. Excuse me. I need to take this. Hello?
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
Stop talking to the law. You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
Who is this?
Go to the back lot. There's a hole in the fence on the left. Look inside the junker. I left a little something there to convince you we're all on the same page here. After you ditch the cops, you're gonna meet me in Elderwood National Park. There's a spot called Lover's Peak. Midnight. Don't do nothing stupid, pal. We're watching you.
I need some fresh air. Can I go out? In the back, maybe?
Of course, Mr. Wake. I understand. You can get there through the cells. Deputy Grant can show you the way.
I'm sorry. All of this, it's just a lot to take in.
Take your time, Mr. Wake. I understand. Can I ask you what the call was about, Mr. Wake?
It's personal.
Well, we are looking for your wife, and I'm going to need your cooperation if I'm going to help you.
I need a moment, after I get some fresh air.
Okay, you can find me here. We'll talk when you feel up to it.
Mr. Wake, can I help you with anything?
I need to get some air. The sheriff said I could go out back.
Of course, Mr. Wake. You can get there through the cell corridor. Just don't mind Walter in there. He's one of our regulars.
I thought he quit drinking for good.
Oh, no such luck. He went on a bender and beat Danny pretty badly. He
думал, он так
started
был.
shouting like that the moment he woke up.
А где он? Где этот, который?
You can get to the back
Да
lot
понял
through
я,
that
все иду.
door
Господи.
and down the corridor, Mr. Wake.
Hey, mister! Hey, turn the lights on! The deputies, they don't understand. They won't listen to me. I need it to be bright in here. Thank you, man, thank you. Hey, you're all right. You're a good guy. Don't let anybody tell you different. You know, I shouldn't even be in here. The cops, they got it all wrong. See, sure, I beat him up, but I wasn't drunk. I mean, I wasn't drunk at the time.
В смысле, тогда не был
I
пьян.
only got drunk afterward. Okay, listen, you gotta listen carefully now. Here's the kicker. That wasn't Danny. No, sir. It only looked like him. You wanna know who it really was? I'll tell you who it really was. It was a goddamn space alien! I know it sounds like something a drunk would say, but believe me, I wasn't drunk then.
Мужик, кто, я тебе верю. Ну вот она, тут, ну ладно.
In spite of its human mask, to describe the dark presence as intelligent would have implied human qualities on something decidedly inhuman. Nonetheless, it found the one spot in the diner that was dark enough. Some light spilled into the corridor, ravaging it. But it took the pain. Horrible as it was, the writer would soon fix that. He would be coming to the one place where it still had power.
Как бы это тяжело не было, писать скоро. Говорю, какие-то мелочи немножко. Так, ну-ка, сейчас, сколько их тут? Ух, ебать его. Это да.
The early morning light hurt my eyes and made my head ache. The man on the phone had said, go through the fence on the left.
Well, folks, it's been another long night, and it's about time for me to sign off for a while. God knows I need my beauty sleep. Just one more item before I go. It's been a busy night for the Sheriff's Department. We've had a few broken windows, even a report of shots fired on Main Street. Deputies Mulligan and Thornton had to deal with two intoxicated young men who were celebrating the completion of their Deer Fest float. Now, folks, we get this every year. I know it's exciting, the big day's almost here, but let's save it for the party and leave the gunplay for the shooting competition, huh? There's no point in getting all worked up yet.
Молодец, правильно говоришь.
The caller had told me to find a hole in the fence behind the police station. There was something for me in an abandoned car.
Че, тут ничего нет, да? Тут, да. Тесно, Если думаешь, что найти можно. Нифига себе ты с ноги как заряжаешь. Так, короче, если внезапная остановка будет еще, значит, это вот то самое.
The kidnapper fired his gun one last time, and the shadow vanished into the darkness it had come from. See? Nothing to it, Wake. The thought of Alice in his hands was revolting. We stood on the wooden platform of Lover's Peak, the waterfall in the mountain behind us, the lights of the radio mast blinking red in the heights above. I fought with the urge to take a swing, force myself to speak. Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife?
То не пик любовников, то Lover's Peak, видите, типа разные тоже люди как будто переводили, хотя, может, так и было.
Alice's driver's license had been placed on the front seat. The caller meant business.
Barry?
Ow! Ow! Thank God! Where the hell have you been? I've been trying to reach you for a week, you and Alice. I've been worried sick. I flew out yesterday. I'm here in Bright Falls.
Barry, listen to me. I'm at the sheriff's station. Come and get me. I can't talk now.
Ow! What the hell is going on?
I had to get the sheriff to let me go. I needed to get to Elderwood National Park to meet Alice's kidnappers. A writer is a light that reveals the world of his story from darkness, shapes it from nothingness. The way a sculptor carves a statue from a block of granite. If I stop, the world I'm making dies. Darkness will reclaim it. It's a long, hard journey into the dark. Alice's life is at stake, but I can't think about that, or I'll lose it. The dread lingers at the edge of perception. I'll push on. Anything is possible here. I'll write the story. I'll save her.
Marvelous, Sarah. I just wanted to settle all the damage the Anderson brothers might have inadvertently caused on their recent and regrettable little outing. They are not accountable for their actions, of course. I can assure you that my staff has been reprimanded.
Tor and Odin never caused any trouble to anyone when they were still living at their farm.
Indeed. All we can do is to slow down the progress of their dementia.
Are you feeling any better, Mr. Wake?
I'd like to leave. Am I free to go?
Well, we still need to talk about...
Am I under arrest?
No, of course not. But I need to know where you'll be staying so I can get in touch with you.
I'd avoid the motel. The Majestic is known for its roaches. The cabins at Elderwood are pretty nice, though.
That sounds perfect.
I'm Dr. Emil Hartman. I'd like to invite you to stay at Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Did you talk to my wife?
I had the pleasure of discussing your situation with her on several occasions.
Did you set something up with her?
I invited her here. My clinic is a place where...
Oh, hey! Oh, my! Take it easy.
Hey, nobody move! Get your hands off of my client!
Who are you?
I'm Barry Wheeler, his agent. If you have business with Mr. Wake, you talk to me.
Да, очень
You
похож.
won't know what hit you once I sick my lawyers on your asses.
No harm done, Sarah. I'm all right. I don't want to press charges. Mr. Wake, my offer still stands.
Get me out of here.
Ну, вам надо немножечко поучиться. Не надо лечиться, нормальный, блядь!
Replay of that thing with the paparazzi. I thought they were gonna lock you up.
Алан только что доказал нам, что ему надо лечиться.
I had to talk to someone. I told Barry everything. He thought I was certifiable, but when he heard about the manuscript, I had him. The fact that I'd written something, even if I couldn't remember it, was enough for him. He smelled money. And he believed that Alice had been kidnapped. Anything beyond that was another story. I had a midnight appointment with the kidnapper in a place called Lover's Peak, somewhere in Elderwood National Park. The plan was to rent a cabin.
I don't like it, Al. I don't like any of it. It's not good. In fact, it's the absolute opposite of good.
Mr. Wake! Barry, you found him.
Hi, Rose.
Oh, wow. I was just thinking about you, too.
Great.
I was just bringing Rusty some coffee. He's on the balcony, looking after Max. Poor thing. I really need to go. Great to see you again, Mr. Wake. Later!
Не, иногда все-таки кривая анимация дает нормально так.
Who's Max?
What an airhead.
Jeez, Mr. Takes a swing at everybody. This is not her fault. She's a very nice girl and, more importantly, a fan.
I'd come here to rent a cabin where I could wait till midnight.
Прикольненько у вас. Смотри, они плюшевые, да? Бля, я хочу себе такого мамонта. Скелет колумбийского мамонта, Мамутус колумби. Это особь, возраст которой по оценкам составляет около 14 тысяч лет, была найдена в асфальтовых озерах Ла-Брея в 1981 году. В 1998 он был подарен национальному парку Элдервуд, когда колумбийский мамонт стал государственным ископаемым штата Вашингтон. Его нарекли кривозубым Чарли, и с тех пор он является официальным талисманом парка.
Seriously, Al, what you were saying in the car, just listen to yourself. What, you shot a guy and his body just disappeared? When was the last time you slept? What, are you high? Have you been drinking?
No! Look, Barry, I'm missing a week, and someone's got Alice.
Do
and
you
everything's
understand what it sounds like when you say stuff like that? Don't get me wrong, it's a good story, could be a bestseller. But when you start confusing fiction with reality, you're buying yourself a ticket to the funny farm.
All right, wait here.
Конечно, красотища.
Easy there, boy. I'm almost done.
Hey, Rusty, right? You rent cabins.
Oh, Mr. Wake. I'd shake your hand, but mine are kind of full here. Actually, I'm sorry about this. Would you mind grabbing the registration form from the desk? It's just across from Bucktooth Charlie.
Okay, sure. What happened?
Crazy poachers. Max here got his foot caught in a trap. They're illegal to use here. Hell, you're not supposed to hunt within the park at all. But that doesn't stop some lowlifes. Well, at least Max is gonna be okay. He got lucky. Max is still groggy from the shot I gave him, and I'd rather not leave him alone just yet.
Я просто послушал твой ответ, мужик.
You can't just go and meet a kidnapper. Those situations always end up in disaster. You gotta talk to the cops.
She's my wife, and it's my call. Can we talk about this later?
No. This whole thing... Listen, you hit your head. I mean, geez, Al, come on. You gotta understand how crazy all this sounds. If you're trying to pull a joke on me, freak me out, it's working. Ha ha, let's have a laugh on Barry. Well, you had me going there real funny, Al. You can quit it now.
Мне делать нечего, нам тобой дураком играть.
I think this is the form you wanted.
And here are the keys. Okay, you're all set, Mr. Wake. Glad to have you staying here.
Thanks. Can you tell me how to get to Lover's Peak?
Oh, sure. It's at the end of the nature trail. Just follow the paths, you'll get to it eventually. It's an easy walk. Nice spot, too.
Ну, чё нахваливаешь?
If you have any trouble finding it, just keep your eyes on the radio mast. It's right below that. Oh, and hey, if you take a walk in the woods, watch your steps so you don't end up like Max. I guess I'm a little worried. We got a bunch of campers out there we haven't heard from. It's not like these people are on a schedule, but with the traps, well, you know. I just don't want any trouble.
Right, thanks.
И темнеет, смотри. Отлично.
Look, Al, you're asking me to believe that you shot a dude who went poof into thin air, a guy who was bulletproof until you pointed a flashlight at him. You hear that from people who end up spending...
Извини, мужик, я думаю, мы просто продолжим разговор на улице. Ну, уже по 10-му разу одно и то же.
Al? Al? We should go to the sheriff or call the FBI.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her! This is not a goddamn debate, Barry. I'm going to Lover's Peak. He said to come alone.
Okay then. I understand. You're my best friend and I'm worried that you're not right in the head. Tell me what to do to help and I'll do it.
You stay here, and if I'm not back by morning, call the cavalry.
Just be careful with the natives, Al. These yokels are dangerous. Everybody hates a tourist, or it'll be deliverance all over again.
Bless you.
Oh, this place is trying to kill me. I'll bet there's mold in here, spores, poison ivy, God knows what. This is so not worth a 15% commission.
Пиздец, у тебя 15% комиссии, ты еще выебаешься. Конечно, револьвера и дробовика больше нет. Замечательно. Так, ну вроде бы все нашли. О, чё. Так хорошо светит, что даже незаметно иногда. Так, ладно, сейчас будет где-нибудь сохранение. Что это все просело бы? И будем заканчивать помаленечку. Так, мне вот туда. Там что? Жакузя. Так, подожди, я правильно понял, что я не нашел где-то? А, нет, нашел, все точно. Сегодня может быть не совсем по порядку. Ну, сейчас, допустим, не особо понятно, зачем ему фонарик. Но выключать он его не умеет. Угу. И дальше мы прочитаем.
Barry had never gotten along with Alice, but he knew Alan loved her with an almost frightening intensity. And now something had happened to Alice. And here was Al armed with a gun and saying things people got put in padded cells for. It was as if his friend had experienced a massive psychotic episode and was now totally disconnected from reality. It scared the shit out of Barry.
Это пугает Барри до усрачки. Сейчас Барри по прозвищу Сиська молится. А если нет, то ему, блядь, следовало этим заняться.
I knew I should have gone to the cops. This wasn't the smartest thing I'd ever done, but I was still angry with Barry for trying to talk me out of it. These people had called me right in the sheriff's station. The cops wouldn't scare them, and they had Alice. Barry had the keys to the car he rented. It wasn't a long walk to the visitor center, and it wouldn't be any use to me in the forest.
Ладно, в таком случае давайте заканчивать. Ссылки, как обычно, кстати, револьвер появился там. Ссылки в описании, проходите, подписывайтесь, везде вступайте, где только можете, по возможности поддержите материально, если сможете, очень буду благодарен. Можете подписаться на Boosty, удобная штука. Сам подписался, не на себя, естественно, но на нескольких других каналах. Вот. Что замыслю, что ты полностью такие прям прорисованные. Вот. И за всем все. Всем всего доброго, и хорошей игры. Всем пока.
We'll be right back.